So I wanted to talk today a little bit about when trusts expire. When do they shut down? How long are they good for? What do we do with them if we no longer need them? And the answer to that just plainly is it depends, right? It really depends on why you used a trust to begin with. What's the point? What's the purpose? What's the strategy it's actually aiming to fulfill? So a lot of times people sort of have this conception that trusts are a forever thing, that you move all of your assets into it, that they have to be there forever until you pass, and then maybe they're held on to even after you're gone. They're holding things for your beneficiaries to protect against something, right? Maybe it's creditors or predators or divorce or something like that. To be honest, there's no right answer. Some people will have trusts that are just in the meantime, right? Just to make sure that until a certain age is reached for their kids, that assets are controlled for their benefit instead of managed outright by the kids or having access outright for waste or immaturity or bad decisions or whatever. Everybody knows their kids differently. Everybody knows their intended beneficiaries differently. There's really no silver bullet or one size fits all. Trusts are supposed to be utilized as a tool to get you from point A to point B, and what those 2 points look like is very different for everybody. So for instance, some people will set up a trust to just hold assets in the event that the parents pass away prior to the kids becoming adults, or maybe adults later in life, right? Like 30 or 25 or 35 or something like that, some age-based parameter. But once they've crossed that threshold, the assets come out, right? They're either distributed, or maybe you're still alive when your kids reach that age. Well, then the trust doesn't really serve its essential purpose anymore. So if you have a trust that maybe gives distributions to your kids at ages 25 for 1/3, maybe another third at 30, and another third of the full remainder at 35, if you are still alive when your kid's at 35, then the trust isn't really doing anything for you, is it? It's actually making things more difficult. So all of this kind of speaks to what is the need, right? What is the actual strategy being achieved or effectuated from utilizing a trust? Probate avoidance just isn't a good enough reason. We do that pretty well in North Carolina without trusts. So if you have an asset protection strategy in mind, well, the trust is only good until that strategy is comes to fruition. Maybe that's for forever, right? Maybe you have beneficiaries that are just not going to be good candidates for outright asset ownership. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that needs to be a trust that's specifically tailored for that need, right? Maybe that one never shuts down. But the honest answer is it really depends. It really depends on what the trust is supposed to do. So if you've got sort of a crisis strategy where, your kids are very young, and as long as they've reached the age of 25, you're comfortable with them receiving assets, well, maybe that trust just terminates at 25 then. If you want a little bit more of a deeper dive as far as what a strategy could look like for you, we offer free, estate planning strategy sessions. No obligation, totally honest opinions, only in your best interest, a full, outlay of what your options are. There's no right answer for any of this, but no strategy can be created without knowing more about you. If you're interested in that, click below and you can schedule your meeting by contacting us.